Ronnie got it all wrong.
Welcome back to the Bodybuilding Authority. Thank you for tuning in. Lots of bodybuilding news these days. Lots of big announcements and people showing up. Hottie showed up in the United States. Behrooz Tapani is now in the United States and will be competing for the first time at the Mr. Olympia this year. And the big story that I want to cover today is Ronnie Coleman. So Ronnie Coleman did his predictions for the Mr. Olympia this year. And first, let me just say this. I was a competitive bodybuilder in the late 80s, early 90s, long time ago. I'm a dinosaur. But I was very, very into it. I was obsessed with bodybuilding, still am to this day. Dorian Yates was the champion. Then Lee Haney was the champion. Dorian Yates was the champion. Ronnie Coleman. I watched Ronnie Coleman come up and do his thing, and I'm a huge fan of Ronnie Coleman. So before I basically destroy his predictions here, let me just say that I am a big fan of Ronnie Coleman. Love me some Big Ronnie, but someone has to help him with his content. Someone's got to at least keep him updated. This video was posted literally hours ago. Ronnie Coleman predicts a new Mr. Olympia champion this year, and he gives his top 10. And it's interesting because I'm just going to go through, and actually I think he has nine people there, not 10, but I'm just going to go through his predictions. And just, I'm floored at the fact that no one helped him with the information here. I mean, first of all, he has Neckzilla in 10th place. And with the level of competition that is going to be at this year's Mr. Olympia, for Neckzilla to finish in 10th place, it would take a miracle. He would have to come in shredded to the bone, which he will not. He's got a huge issue with conditioning. He's a mass monster, yes. Ronnie comments on his structure. He also comments on Nick Walker's structure as being off the chain and great. Like, I'm not sure what he's looking at with regards to structure. Maybe he's just into pure size or pure mass. But bodybuilding, as we know, is much more than size. Now, interesting, in his top 10, he doesn't even have Urs on the list. He doesn't have good Vito on the list. He says some really interesting things when it comes to these guys. But first, he's got Rubiel in 10th place. And it's interesting that he's got him there. I don't have Rubiel in my top 10 at all, and I'm pretty sure if you were to check out a lot of people's predictions, they would not have Rubiel in the top 10. Now, maybe, again, if he comes in shredded, he might make the top 10 because he is a freak mass monster. But his structure is bad. He's just got his structure's not good. He's got a lot of size. That's about it. Next up, Big Ronnie has Brandon Curry in 9th place. Now, God love him. Brandon Curry was, he was Mr. Olympia. But Brandon Curry hasn't looked the same in many years. Brandon Curry, again, if he makes the top 10, it'll be a miracle. Now, again, in this year's lineup, any other year, I would say Brandon Curry would be in the top 10. He was in the top 10 last year, but he's not going to be the top 10 this year. Not with the current lineup that is coming to the Mr. Olympia. Next, he has Behrooz. Now, Behrooz has he just got his visa. He's coming to the Mr. Olympia. He's qualified for the last 4 years. And this is going to be his first time stepping on stage at the Olympia. Now, it was interesting that Ronnie mentioned his muscle bellies. He needs more roundness. And I thought that was an interesting comment because Behrooz has some of the roundest muscle bellies, one of the most complete structures in all of bodybuilding. I mean, Nick's Strength and Power said that he actually has a chance at winning, which I think is far-fetched. Let's be honest, Nick. I don't think Behrooz has a chance of winning the Mr. Olympia this year. But will he be in the top 10? 100%. Will he be in the top 6? I think he will. I think he could be 6th or 5th at this year's Mr. Olympia. Now, Big Ronnie's got him at 7th place. You know, he's got him in the top 10, but it was the comments that really kind of got me, because Beirut has one of the most complete structures, one of the most complete bodies in bodybuilding right now. He's full, he's dense, he's hard, he's round, he comes in condition. His legs were a little bit of a weakness in years past, but he's brought those up solidly. He is the entire package. He looks absolutely incredible. And if his conditioning is on point, now, again, he just arrived. I think he's arriving today. That's not a lot of turnaround time to get up and get ready for the Olympia, same as Hadi. But we'll see. Again, I think he will be solidly 6th or even 5th. But his structure, there's a structure that's perfect. You can't compare his structure to Neckzilla. I mean, that's just silly to say that Neckzilla and even Nick Walker have good structure when you look at someone like Beirut Tapani. And it makes no sense to even say that about those two other bodybuilders. Mass monsters for sure. Nick Walker is a freak, and coming in, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with and could win the whole thing. Next up, he's got Raphael. Now, again, God love him, but someone needs to let Ronnie know about these things. Raphael pulled out of the Olympia a month ago, maybe longer. Raphael's not even doing the Olympia, but he's got him in 6th place, or 7th place, 7th or 6th or 7th place. But Raphael's not doing the show. Now, Urs is doing the show, and Good Vito is doing the show. And there's other guys like Tony O'Burton. There's a lot of guys that I would put ahead of Neckzilla, that I would put ahead of Brandon Curry, and that I would put ahead of Raphael. He is right about Raphael's structure. Raphael's got great structure. He needs to put on more size. He did do a great job of that a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago, I guess. Put on some good quality size. He's still got some work to do, but his structure is top notch, or off the chain, as Ronnie would say. But he's not doing the show. So again, I'm not sure who's helping Ronnie here with his predictions, but they got to get him up to date on who's actually coming to the show so Ronnie can do a better job of his predictions. But so far, his predictions honestly are horrible. Just in my opinion, I love you, Ronnie, but this is horrible. Neckzilla's not going to be top 10. Brandon Curry's not going to be top 10. Beirut is going to be 6th or even 5th. Raphael's not even doing the show. So your first 4 are off the mark a little bit. Let's just go with that. The other thing that Roddy kept talking about was Raphael's stature, saying that he was a short body. Raphael's 5'11". So I'm not sure, again, who did the research for Ronnie, but Raphael is not a short competitor by any stretch. When you compare him to Derek or Hadi or some of these other guys, Raphael's 5'11". And in the bodybuilding world, that's pretty tall. Now, it's not, Quint Beastwood, it's not Samsung, it's not Andrew Jacked, but he's 5'11". That's not short in the bodybuilding world. And speaking of Andrew Jacked, that's who Big Ronnie has up next. That's who he has in 5th place, is Andrew Jacked. Now, I've mentioned Andrew Jacked in the past. I've got him in the top 10. I don't know if he's going to finish as high as 5th. I think there's some other competitors that are going to be a force this year. This year's a crazy year. But I do think Andrew Jacked is going to be in the top 10. I think he's got a good frame. I think he's got a good flow. His conditioning and his attitude, those are the two things he needs to adjust based on what I'm seeing. But anyways, he's definitely a freak of nature, and I do love his structure from a bodybuilding standpoint. I think he looks fantastic. But he's got to come in shredded if he's going to finish at 5th, or he said even 4th in this lineup. I think it's going to be tough for him to crack the top 5. But then Ronnie makes the cardinal mistake of putting Samson Dauda in 5th place. In 4th place. He's got him in 4th place. So again, the number's messed up because he doesn't do a top 10. He actually does a top 9. But anyways, he's got Samson in 4th place. Now, I do think he's got the top 4, the right people in the top 4. I just think that it could be arranged differently. And Samson is the reigning and defending Mr. Olympia champion. I don't care what he did at the Iron. I don't care it doesn't matter what you did at previous shows. It matters what you did at the show we're judging. And I think Samson knows He's got to come into the Mr. Olympia in the best condition of his life. Now, he recently did guest posing, and talked about this before, and his guest posing appearance was insane. He looked incredible this far out, or that far out from the show. And I think Samson could win the entire thing again. I think he could be a defending champion. Well, Andrew Jack and Samson, they're both getting up. They're in their late 30s, early 40s. They're not going on a run of Mr. Olympias. They're on the end stages of their bodybuilding careers. Now, is it possible? Yeah. Do I think Andrew Jack could win Mr. Olympia? No. I think the competition ahead of him is too strong and too good and just getting better. Samson, though, I think Samson is going to be the Mr. Olympia champion again this year. So putting him in fourth place was shocking to me, because based on what he looked like at that guest posing, based on what he looked like last year at the Olympia, if he comes in with the same size as last year, but tighter and in better condition, like it looks like he's going to be, I don't think there's anyone that can touch him. With that structure, with that flow, with that symmetry, with that size, everything. He's got it all. Next up, he's got Derek. He's got Derek in third place. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. I do disagree with Samson's placing, but he's got Derek in third place. I think Derek is going to probably be in fourth place. Fourth was my prediction for Derek. I think Samson's going to be first place, and Derek, I think, is going to be. I think he's going to be fourth. Could he be third? Yes, but I think he's going to be fourth place, because I think there's three guys ahead of him at this point, and Samson is one of them. Now, the top four, I'm going to say, you've got Derek, you've got Samson, you've got Hadi, you've got Nick Walker. You've got those four, and they could finish in any place from what I can see going into the show. It's going to be anyone's Mr. Olympia, but I don't think Samson's going to be fourth. I think Samson's going to be first or second. I think Derek's going to be third or fourth. And then in second place, Big Ronnie has Nick Walker. And I said it before that I didn't think Nick Walker could ever win the Mr. Olympia title, but I take that back. Based on what I'm seeing now with his size and his conditioning and his structure. Now, again, does he have the most pleasing structure? No, even though Ronnie says it's off the chain, I don't agree. His structure is not good. You compare his structure to Samson, when you compare Andrew Jack, even if you look at Derek and you look at Hadi, their structures are better than Nick. Nick has an issue with his waist, with his gut. Always has, always will. But he seems to have it under control. And I think that he is definitely going to be in the top two. Rubiel, not Rubiel. Man, this is a tough lineup, I'm telling you. But Beirut Stepani has one of the nicest structures in the top 10. I'd put his structure up with, Andrew Jack. I'd put it up there with Samson. I put his structure ahead of Hadi and Derek. Nick Walker doesn't have the nicest structure, but he is a freak of nature. And I do think that his year is coming very, very soon. It could be this year. I've got him in second. He could be third. He could be first. And then Ronnie's got, for his Olympia champion this year, Hadi Chupan. And could that happen? Yes. Will it happen? Probably not. There's a few things, again, that I don't know that Ronnie's up to date on, but Beirut Stepani is arriving today or tomorrow. Hadi, who is used to being here in the United States a month ahead of time to work with Hani, he got here less than a week ago. And so his conditioning looks a little off right now as compared to last year at this time. But Hadi comes in condition every single show. There's not a show that Hadi's ever been in where he was not in top condition. So Hadi could finish first, but he could finish second and he could finish third. So between Samson and Derek and Hadi and Nick Walker, that top four could be anybody. Now, I personally have Samson winning it. I've got Nick Walker in second. I've got Hadi in third, which he will be very upset by. And I've got Derek in fourth place. Now, I don't think Derek can be any higher than fourth place, if I'm being honest. I think he's going to be fourth place because I do think that Nick and I think that Hadi and I think that Samson are going to beat him. Now, where does Nick and Hadi and Samson finish in the grand scheme of things? It's anybody's guess. But Ronnie's predictions are I will be shocked if any of these are correct. He might get 1, 2 out of 10 or 9. Because first of all, Raphael's not competing. Second of all, Neckzilla, that's a blast from the past. Neckzilla's not finishing in the top 10. Raphael's not finishing at all because he's not competing. Brandon Curry's not finishing in the top 10. You got who's probably going to be in the top 10 if he comes in that type of shape and condition again. Well, his shape's going to be the same, but his conditioning, if he comes in like that, he could be in the top 10. And good Vito. If good Vito shows up in condition and shape, again, the way he's been looking, he's going to be in the top 10 as well. But that top 3, between Samson, between Hadi, between Nick, is anybody. Anybody could finish in the top 3 at this year's Mr. Olympia. And I, for one, am looking forward to it. But sorry, Ronnie. Ronnie needs to stick to bodybuilding. He was the master. He was the king, 8-time Mr. Olympia. He is the man when it comes to bodybuilding. But when it comes to predictions, sorry, Ronnie, it's not it. This is a bad top 9, top 10. I'll just leave it at that. This is the Bodybuilding Authority. Just remember I said that. I love me some Ronnie. Just this prediction, I had to do a video with it. It was just that bad. Take care, guys.